At the STA family of companies, we find ourselves on a crusade against chaos. Let me see if I can help you understand a little bit more about what we mean by that. We spent the last 10 years selling technology solutions to our customers and helping them implement them. Yet I find myself time and time again in my conversations with my customers today, telling them to stop spending money on IT. The reason we do this is we believe we're at an inflection point in the marketplace with regards to IT decision making. And we want our customers to think about how they might change the way they make IT decisions in the future compared to the way they've made IT decisions in the past. Frankly, our customers have been almost as good at buying technology hype as we've been at selling the technology hype, and that's got to stop. Our customers need to find a way to connect their IT project and their IT spend directly to the business outcome. That's where we can help. We can help them understand where they're at today. We can help them understand and define where they want to be in 5 years' time. And we can create the technology roadmap to support their business outcomes directly and ensure that every penny they spend on IT directly benefits their business. We spent a lot of time talking to our customers and clients over the last 6 months, and I thought it might be interesting to take a moment to share what we're hearing from them, what they believe they're challenged with for the future, and some of the ways they're looking at changing the role of IT in their business to help achieve their goals for the future. What our customers are telling us fundamentally is they believe there's a misalignment today between their line of business function and information technology. And if this misalignment continues, they risk the relevance of their business in the future. When we're talking about the future, we're looking out several years. Most of our customers are looking at a 5-year planning window, and they're concerned about remaining relevant in their business and remaining competitive in their business and in their marketplace if they don't look at deploying IT in a different way within their organization. The result is a real misalignment in fundamental direction within the organization. While the business may be driving in one direction, the relative feeling is IT is driving in a completely different direction. Now, this isn't a representation of IT driving down to the ground. It's really just a relative representation of the misalignment between the internal groups. And you'll note today there's a gap that exists between the business thinking and IT thinking. Customers are finding if they don't change the way in which they make IT decisions, this gap will only widen as they move into the future. And the gap will cause serious risk to their ability to remain relevant in their business 5 years out, particularly in light of the marketplace challenges they have to deal with now and into the future. Some of those challenges include tremendous pressure for growth, both externally and internally, in both revenues and net income. There's a tremendous demand from their internal end user community for additional technologies, additional functionality, the need to do more with less. We also have trends in the world that are going to impact IT significantly moving forward. Recent data indicates we're going to move from 5 billion mobile devices to 35 billion mobile devices over the next 5 years. And the business will need to support all of these mobile devices. The end user is driving a tremendous desire to bring what are now more personal devices like iPads, iPods, and iTouches and all things mobile. These will all start to move into the business and drive tremendous pressure on IT. And if we don't make decisions in a different way moving forward, we will contribute significantly to the growth in this gap. The customer challenge is shrinking the gap and creating direct alignment between the line of business and IT in the future. We call this alignment the line of success. As we talk to business and we talk to IT, what we get from business leaders is they're seeing IT today as a black box. It's a black box containing a whole bunch of stuff, and they don't really know what the stuff is. They hear words and phrases like applications. They hear storage, they hear network, they hear power concerns, they hear server concerns. And while at a high level they have a sense for what these words mean, they don't understand fully how it impacts their business. They don't understand why whenever they go to IT either gives them a blank stare or tells them how much longer it's going to take than they really think it should take. Our line of business leaders are really struggling today to understand what's going on in the IT department. So much so that many of them are starting to end run IT. They're looking at their goals for the future and they're saying to themselves, if my internal IT group can't help me satisfy or achieve these goals, then I'm going to go outside. I know a little bit about technology and I know a little bit about how to implement it and how to use it in my business to create success. And if IT can't do that for me, I'll go find somebody out there in the cloud, an Amazon or other provider, who will help me make it happen. While that's an effective short-term solution for the line of business and for the business leader, all this action does is add to the gap we see developing for the future. All the Enrun does today is cause us to accelerate the size and the time with which we get to our future gap. So it satisfies a short-term need, but it isn't an effective long-term strategy to end run your IT group as part of achieving relevance for the future. If we accept all the data that I've presented so far as a representation of how IT exists in the world today within a business, you can only conclude that we're at a point of inflection in the business with regards to the way IT decisions get made. Business decisions and IT decisions have been made in a particular way in the past. They have to be made in a different way for the future. Otherwise, your business risks relevance 5 years out. In order for the business to do this, they really need to look carefully at how they are going to align business, IT, and the future. One of the significant changes we're seeing is how IT projects and IT decisions are evaluated and made. Used to be the IT department got a budget at the beginning of the year and spent to that budget throughout the year with little scrutiny, frankly, on their spend and on their projects. We're seeing significantly greater scrutiny for IT projects through the business today. That scrutiny runs from the business leaders up through the executives and as high as the board of directors. All of these individuals want active and significant input into the evaluation of and the final decision on an IT project. It's having an interesting impact on IT budgeting. We're seeing more cross-functional scrutiny, but this can lead to the potential for more spend rather than less spend. We find customers wanting to look at IT projects and really understand how those IT projects will create and affect their defined business outcome. If they can't connect the business outcome to the value of the IT project, the project will never get approved. If they can connect the business outcome to the IT project, and typically that's connected by a finance evaluation, we find they concern themselves less with budget than they do with the cost of the business outcome, or the potential win of the business outcome, or the potential revenue opportunity or income opportunity associated with the business outcome. They take the financial result of the business outcome and evaluate the cost of the project against it. If they can create more income, more revenue, or a better business outcome by spending millions of dollars on an IT project, they'll absolutely do it. If they can't convince themselves of that, no matter what budget existed, no matter what the trend for spending is, that project's not going to get done. We're finding successful customers embracing the beginnings of change and looking very carefully and very thoughtfully within themselves, with a willingness to look at themselves in the stark light of day. Successful companies are the ones that are willing to accept the challenge, are not embarrassed by it, and are more than willing to consider the need for resources to help change the way they're doing business and the way they're making IT. If it's important for you to make order out of chaos, and it's important for your business to remain relevant in the future, reach out to us and let us show you how we've created order out of chaos for other companies.